season 6, episode 39, where we watch Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, season 1, episode 1. And it's time to get nexted. I'm Chris Lorenz.
I cook, I clean, and I know how to podcast. This is Brian.
I'm Max, and Quip. I don't know. Can we skip that question and come back to it?
If this is your first time listening, we watch a different reality show each week, discussing in minute detail, figuring out if it's good or bad. And all those quips were referenced to this show that we watched this week, Ultimatum. But last week, we watched a show called Domino Masters. We put up a poll on Twitter to figure out if you thought it was good or bad. And we got a top third from the audience for Domino Masters, which is...
Turns out the audience thought that this was talking about Domino's Pizza.
maybe. Definitely not what we thought the last week, but you know, that's why we have the poll. You tell us. Tweet at us, let us know what you thought. Anyway,
audience, we're here to let you know your opinion is bad.
only our opinions count. So if you want to tell us what you thought about this week's show, you can find us on Twitter at @WhoPutThisOn. You can vote in the poll. Max, what did we watch this week?
Okay, so I googled the Ultimatum description and I got Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a final proposition, condition, or demand, especially one whose rejection will end negotiations and cause a resort to force or other direct action.
Max, not the definition.
I think I can tag in here.
Brian, what's the real description?
Get hitched or call it quits. Couples put their love to the test while shacking up with other potential matches in a provocative reality series. This is Ultimatum on Netflix.
I'm gonna start this discussion off with the most very important detail, especially for the listening audience. This show is fucking hot garbage, and you should never, ever in your life put this show on the television.
What? I mean, come on. You're spoiling the podcast.
Chris, we've seen so much garbage. This barely even registered on my garbage meter.
It does so many things wrong. It's so boring.
Oh, I agree.
So boring. Like, it's impossible to pay attention to the show. It's impossible to know who the people on the show is. It's impossible to give a fuck about the people on the show because A, they're stupid, and B, the show is boring AF. It is one of the most boring shows I've ever fucking watched.
Now that I think we can agree on.
All right.
Yeah. So when we read this description, like to choose a pod or a show to pod for this week, we thought, oh, this is gonna be Temptation Island, and it can't live up to that name.
It's Temptation Island if it was in quarantine and you can only have 10 people on it. 12 people. It's so weird. It was the number. So the whole show here is that they have 5 couples. They come in. One of them is decided in an ultimatum where they have to get married by the end of it or not. And you go in, you meet the 5 couples or 6 couples or whatever. I think it's, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Very boring, very slowly. No one gives a fuck. Then they say after a week of dating other people, they're going to choose who they want to be with. And in this episode, all they've done is you see them do like a weird poolside date with the other people in this ultimatum situation, which is so weird. It was so weird and cringy.
It almost makes you appreciate Temptation Island so much more because here you're like flirting with other people in front of your current partner. It's very weird.
I mean, this show is just meant to destroy relationships or make a quick buck. Either way, I hope they're happy.
We talked about this in our Temptation Island pod, but I'll bring it up again here. Is that the people that give an ultimatum and go on the show, like, you're an idiot. Like, you want to give an ultimatum and then, like, you know, actually go through it. Like, ultimatum can't be on a reality TV show. It just, like, is not going to work out in your favor. You're going to be sad. They're going to be sad. Are you going to end up at the end of this happier? Probably not.
Because Yeah, because they're paying for my wedding ring. I am going to be so happy.
No, I, I think the chances you make it through this thing together are, I don't know, 10%.
You
It's
really think
just
it's
like,
that low? I mean, what was the rate on Temptation Island? I have not watched that much of it, but
I do have some details on this we could talk about later because I had to know if they chose to be together or not after this week of dating.
Please tell
So
me.
we'll bring it up at the end,
Okay, okay.
but
yeah.
or towards the end. But I do know who people chose, and it does affect this number of 10%, which is surprisingly too low.
I mean, it can't be 10% because there's 10 people in this, or like 5 couples in this, so you can never get
Well,
point.
so I think the real problem here is that these five couples only dated each other. That's too small of a dating pool. Like, there's no way to be like, yeah, I know this person's the best for me because like this other like black guy is for me. Like or this other black woman. They're like just other people in this weird ultimatum situation. Like
Okay,
it
but
just seems like it's
so
not set up for you to actually figure this thing out.
I haven't looked forward. So you watched the end of episode 2 to figure out like who they choose, right?
Yeah, I skipped forward to the choosing ceremony
Okay.
where
I'm
Nick.
wondering if later they add more people, like just throw randos in the mix.
No, no, they don't. So after you do this choosing, if you both choose the other person, then you spend 3 weeks living together with those people, and then I think you have to do your final choosing. So there's no other people.
Yeah, this setup is freaking weird. Like,
It's so weird. It's edited so poorly. I wonder if it's just edited so poorly because I have no fucking footage that shows that's like useful.
possibly.
I don't know.
There's no reason this episode should have been 57 minutes.
It's so fucking long.
I zoned out for a good portion of it.
All right, let's do some more structure stuff. Let's talk about our hosts. We got Nick and somebody Lachey,
Vanessa?
Vanessa,
Vanessa.
they, they've been on so many of our shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the Netflix hosts. That's their gig now.
Hey,
Let's see.
this is definitely a downgrade from
Uh,
everything else.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll skip that.
I was trying to remember what's the last show we did with Nick Lachey. It was Alter Ego.
Oh my god.
Really?
It was Will I Am, Alanis Morissette, Grimes, and Nick Lachey.
Oh yeah, that wasn't a Netflix joint. I thought we did like some love show with them. Or no, I just watched
No,
season 2.
there was another love show with them.
Love is Blind was the other one. All right. They're fine. They don't really have to do too much as usual.
They're getting paid.
That's for sure. They got to be in the quarantine. They got to get paid. Let's go couple by couple, I guess. And if you got any notes you want to talk about, we can do it. And maybe I'll just spoil it if you. Nah, I won't spoil. I'll let you guys know. So if you actually want to watch it, I don't know. Alexis and Hunter, the 26 and 28. I wrote no notes about these.
There's nothing to talk about. I would say Alexis is probably the ditziest person on the show.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Hunter's not that great either. He's just okay out of 10.
He's a nothing burger.
Uh,
I think he's
yeah.
the oldest guy on the show.
No, there's Nate.
There's a guy named Nate on this show? Oh, there is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is every time somebody's name called, it's like, who's that?
They need. We always say this. They need Chirons, whatever the fuck
They
they're
need
called.
they need a better show.
Well, yeah, that too. But every time there's too many people, when they're on screen, just show me what their name is. It's that easy.
Yeah,
Okay, here's the
especially
problem. There's 10 people. There's not that big of a population here. It
there's
just wasn't interesting.
in the beginning of the show, they didn't even show their names for a while. I was like, The one thing you got to do when you show me them the first time is tell me who the fuck they are.
Yep.
They did such a bad job. All right, so we got Shanique and Randall. I wrote one of them is 24. They've been dating a year and a half, and mostly the women gave the ultimatums here. So Shanique gave the ultimatum.
She said, "I'm ready for my first baby," and he's like, "I'm financially conscious." I don't think she is. She seems a bit like a princess type.
It's really sad that some of these conversations, quote unquote, haven't happened yet. Like, they must have if it's
I
Oh,
a
mean,
stable relationship.
they're pretty young, right?
yeah, it's insane to me that all of these relationships are like, "Hi, I'm blah blah. I'm 22. I've been dating for 3 weeks, and I'm ready to get married and have a baby."
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
granted, the 1 year one, fine, whatever. That's too soon. But like some 2 years, like the conversation probably should have come up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have, and I'm sure that the casting for this, found the relationships that are clearly dead couple walking.
They found five. They nailed it.
yeah. Then we got April and Jake. Somebody's 23. I think they're both around. Been dating 2 years. Um,
She gave the ultimatum.
yeah. Jake was in the military
He says, "I've given up everything I'm passionate about to give you everything you want," but he
at
never really
23.
makes clear what that is.
I don't think it really matters. That's still so self-sacrificial. That's a bad relationship anyway.
Yeah,
April said that she can't go end another 3 year relationship, which is definitely something you don't ever really want to say. Like, there's a sunk cost fallacy with the relationships a lot, and that's like the definition of a sunk cost fallacy. Is like, oh, I
Mhm.
don't want to throw away these 3 years. I'm like, oh, well, okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's
never
better
gonna
to
make
wait.
you
it's a bit
that's not
late
gonna
for
make you
that,
happy in
honey.
the long
Better to throw away 3 years than waste 50.
run. Yeah, you're 23. You got a lot of time left. Uh, then we got Zay and Ray. They're 24 and 25. Ray gave the ultimatum. Zay, Z or Zay, I don't know. He's like the most blandest. He like does not have a voice for camera at all. He sounds weird.
I agree, but I thought this guy was like the most real, the most legit person on the show. Um, he was just complaining about how his girl is kind of shut off from him. The producers ask Ray, "Why do you love Zay?" She thinks for about 10 seconds and says, "I don't know. Can we skip that question and come back to it?" Like
Let me think.
that sucks.
Two and a
Yeah,
half
You know,
years.
you can
that's
just
not
like
great.
you can see the closed offness happening on screen, which I was impressed with.
Yeah.
Then we got Lauren and Nathan. Nathan is 30. I think Lauren was younger.
She's 26.
They've been dating for 2.5 years. And Lauren doesn't want kids, but Nathan wants kids. And that seems like a big
Here, let me read you my notes for them. Lauren, her age, and Nate, his age, 2.5 years. Mismatch on kids. She doesn't want them. They're fucked.
Yeah.
deal.
That's my notes.
Most of my notes have just been how many red flags I've been seeing.
Yeah.
I can say that Lauren seems like a little bit of a bitch. But she's kind of in a weird. I mean, it's hard because you're in a stressful situation. And one thing that happened to her was that the one guy was like, "I'm not attracted to you," when when she was like, "I like you." So that's like, I mean, that's got to be a hard thing to deal with. That probably doesn't make you look so good on a reality show. So I got no bad feelings about anyone, but she's the one that like kind
Mm.
of definitely came off
Nate was nothing. He
came off
I
more
don't think he
negative.
showed up in the show at all.
Yeah.
We missed one couple, Colby and
I know. There's
Madeline.
one more. I still have things to say about Lauren. So like
Oh,
when
go for it.
Lauren got that like I'm not attracted to you, she like totally pulled out that he just nexted me line.
Oh, that was great.
I don't think that's Lauren. I think
I
that's
thought that was
It was
Alexis.
A. Yeah, it's Lexus.
Alexis is the one that did that.
Yeah, I was like, Lauren is the one who doesn't want kids.
Oh, okay. So my
I
notes
was
are
like, I
right.
didn't really get bitchy from that, but I was willing to hear you out.
You're right. Maybe I don't know. I don't care. So I guess I just wrote it down in the wrong section. My bad. So that was Alexis. Uh,
Yeah. Alexis
that
also had some
was
pretty good
that.
lines.
Sorry, Lauren. Alexis was the one that was kind of bitchy. Sorry
I mean,
about
Alexis
that.
was also financially stable. Very proud of it.
Oh yeah. Was she the one that also said like I can't be the breadwinner in the relationship? Was that Alexis or was that
No,
Lauren?
because she was like, I'm financially independent. I don't need a guy for their money. Like, I don't need a guy for their wallet.
I think that was Lauren. I don't know. You guys are getting me all confused now.
Doesn't really
Doesn't
matter.
matter. Who cares? Watch it if you want to figure out who that person was. Fucking tweet at me. Uh, her last couple is Colby and Madeline, and I have no notes.
He is the one that put down the ultimatum. He's a little affectionate, and she's just kind of like not that into it. It seems.
I don't know. I like these relationships, just like nothing sticks.
Yeah.
Especially since you see these relationships for half hour. When you see half hour of them dating each other, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know about the show, guys.
Yeah. So anyway, they introduce all these couples. Then they cut to Nick and Vanessa show up. They say some shit. Everyone goes to bed. They wake up the next morning, and it's kind of their last time together as a couple for the time being. So there's a little clip of everybody saying their goodbyes, and then it's flirting time.
Yeah. And that was more exciting. I was a little more interested in the latter half of the show, but it is still just fairly generic.
Oh yeah,
So, like, as it started like matching up, it was just like, oh, we're flirty. Oh no, I'm gonna pass on these two. You start seeing who's gonna hook up with who next, and then they play a little drinking game where they like ask a question or you have to take a drink. Cool.
I totally forgot that
You already zoned out.
um,
Like, I mean, the questions were at least more interesting than I've seen on other reality shows.
yeah. They definitely were planted by producers. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Who are you the most interested? Who are you the most threatened by? Blah blah blah.
I still think the pool thing was this whole situation is so weird. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
you're with your significant other of 2.5 years, but then you're dating the four other people at the like seeing if you're interested in the four other people. This is the point of the ultimatum, but like it's got to be really emotional for you to watch your other significant other like flirt with somebody else that's not you. Like it's just so silly. Like I don't. It's just I don't.
So
I don't
funny
get it.
enough, this past weekend I tried to watch the movie Hall Pass, which is basically the same concept as this, and I could not make my way through the movie.
Well, I mean, it's like in Hall Pass, it's just like this guy's given a Hall Pass to go out. Like, it's not like she's there with him while he's
Yeah.
trying to hook up with other women. It's like out of sight, out of mind. Like, these people are together. They're on the other side of this fucking pool, the other side of this
Oh,
table. Like, it's
oh
so
yeah.
weird.
Like the cliffhanger for this was just like couples like sitting together at the table. Like there's some like jealousy going on. Not it's just
I,
standard reality show
yeah,
stuff.
it is. Anyway, you guys want to know who picked who? And if you don't want to
Yes.
know, you can skip forward in a pod. And then
Right.
we'll
Hit
get
go
us
to
with
for
the
it.
questions.
answers.
Hit me.
I think there is some interesting stuff going on here. So we'll go through the uninteresting stuff first. Shanique and Zay are together. They picked each other. And then Jake and Ray picked each other.
That's the
Uh,
least surprising one.
Mandolin and Randall picked each other.
Did you
And
call her
then
mandolin?
Mandolin.
Like,
I did say mandolin. Madeline. Oh man. And then Hunter and Alexis got engaged to be married.
wait, what? Like on the show?
Uh,
Okay, wait.
Like,
So, like, I thought I heard a line where it was like, "I want to get married by the end of this." Like, so the other couples that just like changed up partners, they didn't get married.
no, the other three couples, uh, three of the couples have swapped partners essentially.
Okay.
But then, well, April picked Hunter, and then Hunter just, proposed to Alexis. So they're together. And then Colby picked Lauren, and then Nate was like, "No, I can't have this happen." And he gets up and he proposes to Lauren right then. So Nate and Lauren are back together uh, and engaged, even though everyone at the table and the show is like, oh, shock. They're, but they haven't done the kids. The kids thing is still an issue. They even fixed the kids thing. How can you do this when it's not the kids things? And Colby was like pissed, and even I think April just like cried over this whole thing, and I like, and I'm sitting here laughing at this whole thing.
I mean,
Dude,
that's how we
this
know we're jaded on reality shows when you can just laugh at that instead of just going, "Oh my god, the drama."
this choosing ceremony took, but it took like a half hour. It was
mhm.
so fucking long. They just sat at this giant table, and they one by one stood up, and like it was like Jake picked Ray, and then like they talk about their feelings and stuff for like 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and then Ray stands up, picks Jake, and they're gonna talk about it again, and it's just like, oh my god,
How does the picking work? Because, like, what if somebody picks you, but you don't want to pick them?
I don't know. I That's what happened. Like Lauren obviously didn't pick Colby, she picked Nate, and April and like Hunter didn't pick April, so I don't know what happens this season.
Weird.
I don't
Uh,
really care, but
yeah, this show's
there you go.
garbage.
You have to fast forward to the end of the season to figure out if they're together at the end because there's still this section of the show.
I saw that there was a reunion show. I would not even watch that if I cared.
There's just, all right. Let's do some questions here. Who do you think the worst human being?
We'll slow down. Are there any minutia or any fun things we missed? There was one I liked, which is Madeline was talking to Zay during the flirting section. She's like, "What's important to you in a match?" And Zay says, "Sex drive's important, like 2 to 3 times a day." And Madeline's immediately like, "That's not what I came here to explore." I just thought that was a fun interaction. Oh,
Mandolin was
one guy,
great.
Hunter. She's like, some girl asked Hunter like, "What do you like?" And he says like, "Yeah, man, I'm wild. I like sci-fi."
It was so wild.
um, yeah. Are there any other throwaway things?
Man, I the one liners were very minimal because I wrote down like I cook, I clean, and I know how to fuck. And then uh, this bitch is financially stable. I paid for these, pointing to her breasts on my own.
That's
Like
true. That was
Yep.
those are the best lines, and like nothing else was interesting.
They need the rock writers there.
There is one thing we touched on earlier, which is when you said Alexa said you just nexted me. Is that like MTV's Next, like getting nexted?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Incredible.
yeah, it's a deep cut. I do have something though. I was watching this with my family because I'm visiting them in Pennsylvania. I know I'm like in Seattle, so we were watching this because I said we wouldn't watch it. And my sister said, "I told you it's boring," because she had already seen it. And my dad refused to watch anymore because he said it was so bad.
Man, I mean, clearly she was right.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine rewatching an episode of this and be like, "There's no way." So proud. Thanks, Ed. Thanks. I don't. You're a better person. Maybe she's just too brain out. She just had a kid. Anyway, let's do some questions. Who's the
Yeah.
worst human being here? And
If Nick
it's
Lachey created this
clearly
show, Nick Lachey.
it's clearly the editors or the producers of the show. I don't know who to blame. I'm gonna go with the editors because whoever edited this, I think I could take this footage and make something workable out of it. But you didn't do it. You made it way too fucking long. And how many episodes is this goddamn thing? Like it's too long.
No, I think it can't be the editors. Like it's the people on there. They're not giving the content.
You think it's the people?
Yeah. I think it's just the producer for coming up with this. And then casting not the best crew.
There are 10 episodes of this thing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We're gonna watch
Max,
them all.
Who do you think it is? Do we have an actual candidate?
No, not really.
Is it the person that did the next thing?
That is my front runner, I guess, but I don't feel that strongly about it.
All right, we'll just leave it. What do you think the production schedule of this thing was? I mean, it was clearly they had a week for this dating thing, and then 3 weeks for this living together, and then they had 2 weeks of quarantine. Plus, it looks like they have a reunion show.
So just add them all up.
So, okay, 10 episodes for like 4 weeks of content or 4 weeks of filming. There's not a lot there then.
Like 4.5. Probably give it some wiggle room there.
Yeah. And
who's gonna hook up next?
See, now we're actually having a fun question.
Jake and Ray.
That's a pretty good.
What about Zay and Shanique?
What about Nick and Vanessa Lachey?
What about Nick? What about Nick and Zay? Z.
See, yeah, maybe.
If you can get the host in the mix, money.
Would this show be better as a Quibi? I think any minutes taken off the show would make the show better. So I think it would
be. Yeah. Maybe this would work as a 20-minute show. 5 minutes? I don't fucking know. Maybe just not. It doesn't work the way it is right now. Mix it up. Do something. Do anything.
Let's do some drinking rules. We gotta inject some levity into our podcast. Brian, what do you got for me?
Anytime you see a relationship red flag, take a drink.
Every time you yawn or notice you're not watching the show, take a drink. Max.
Every time somebody mentions needing a baby immediately, take a drink.
Brian.
Every time you hear something sexual, take a drink.
Anytime you see something sexual, take a drink.
Anytime you taste something sexual, take a drink.
Anytime you smell something sexual.
Yeah, this whole show, like as you're watching it, you're just like, okay, look, we have it great. Let's just hook up.
The Ultimatum now in 4D, 3DX.
All right, I think that I don't have any more.
Would the show be better if everyone was naked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would the show be better if everyone was a child? Probably not.
Would this show be better if everyone was groomed into this relationship?
Was what?
Groomed?
Oh, no, that seems bad.
Well, maybe they'll get out of their grooming.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I think that, like, if I was thinking about like the people from Hype House, I actually do think it might be a little more interesting.
Would the show be better if everybody was a member of Hype House?
Would the show be better as a TikTok? let's do one. I think it's going to be hard for us, which is what do we love about this show?
I love
I
that I don't need to watch any more of it.
I
Um,
love that they're actually approaching their relationship problems in this instead of just continuing bad relationships.
I do agree with you, Brian, that if we like took a holistic view of this show versus Temptation Island, like the people on this show, I feel it. Like I feel the relationships are real. Like they actually have been together and they actually have problems. And I think they're legitimately here to fix those problems. Unlike the relationships on Temptation Island, I got that. Didn't get any of that feeling. So I'll give them props for that. I think that like the people on this show feel real and like you, you do start to think that they are together.
That is one thing about like the Netflix reality universe that they pull from a different group of people that yeah, some of them maybe like going for like Instagram stuff, but it's still it's more down to earth than like somebody who's just like I'm gonna go on here, get a following, or like do this to like be in other reality shows. There's not like too much crossover yet with Netflix.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. There's some, but
Yeah, I think it has to come down with like the show has a good tone, I think overall is like they're being dead serious about coming to this place and dating other people and taking it very seriously. For a show like this is very good. Like it's definitely like above the rest in a lot of ways, whereas like a lot of these kind of shows will throw them in the deep end with people trying to hook up with them and really break up the relationship or do some, be naked all the time. Like it's just like they throw some weird gimmicks at them, and I think that this is a real exploration of that. I don't think it's done very well, but it is definitely a real attempt to, at the very least. All right, so let's do our last question. We do a ranking system where we do a top, middle, bottom, third compared to other reality shows. And I think you might know what our ratings are, but Brian, why don't you give it to
I was just about to ask it, is anybody not rating it bottom of the bottom? I'm oh wow. I'm also in that boat. I'm gonna put it middle of the bottom. Just I don't I wasn't like completely disgusted with it, and I think that it's okay background stuff. I'm not gonna pop it on though.
me? It sounds like bad background stuff, but it could be a background stuff.
It could be like if
Uh,
I was really hurting, I would do it, but I'm not.
Max, what do you got for me?
Um, this show is exponentially better than Domino Masters, and that's why I'm putting it in the top of the bottom.
Exponential.
It,
I don't know about that.
it,
I I hated Domino Masters. It was so bad.
Our audience love Domino Masters,
And
Max.
more proof. We gotta get rid of our audience. This has to become a zero listener podcast.
we're,
I mean, obviously, the show is bottom third. I wouldn't put it in the bottom of the bottom, Brian. It's probably middle of the bottom. It's only it like its real thing is it's just fucking boring and doesn't get me to care about these relationships enough. Doesn't introduce them well enough. Doesn't distinguish the people well enough to get me to care. Like it could be better. I think that Netflix, you need to give me a call because I'm gonna hop in there and I'm gonna roll some heads and I'm gonna fucking fix your shit because you got some fucking problems.
I'm telling
give
you,
me the
man, we are so well versed. We could make a killer show. They just gotta call us up.
Yeah, you got to call us up. Anyway, that's it for our discussion of Ultimatum. And the sooner I can forget about the show, the better. So, Brian, you got a shout out this
Taskmaster is back tomorrow.
week. Woo! So excited.
Yeah,
Number one show of season 6.
yep,
Or
pump for that. But we're currently watching, enjoying Moon Knight.
Moon Knight's also very good. I've only seen 2 of the 3 episodes, but um, it's much better. It's better, best Marvel show so far. So we'll see how that pans out.
Knock on wood.
Max, you got any shout outs this week?
I don't want to steal yours, Chris, but Severance. I finished it. It's
Oh,
really, really excellent.
Severance, it's a goat show. You just gotta watch it. It's top tier mystery sci-fi show. Season one, so good.
I picked out
I
episode 1.
It's one of the tightest first seasons I've seen since maybe Lost season one.
Westworld. It reminds me a lot of Westworld season
I would buy that, but it's more questions are answered. I feel not that that happens in Lost.
one. Oh, I mean,
Anyway,
it's
it's a
definitely
hella good show.
Lost took the brunt of the let's introduce this mystery show and then just like fuck around and not do it, not continue it correctly. And I think Westworld
Yeah,
also has its own problems, but like it's definitely the best new show since like Westworld season one, like in terms of the tone and fit. They kind of fit. But yeah, Brian, you gotta watch like the first episode's kind of slow rolls you into episode two, and then just kind of picks up from
Oh, I absolutely plan to continue it. I just I was going to bed and then like finished episode 1. I'm like, I need to pay attention. I'm gonna go to sleep.
there. Oh
I
yeah.
think it definitely picks up in the later episodes, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. Great
So
casting, great cinematography, directed by Ben Stiller of all people.
he just killed it. Killed it. First one. He's killing it. I don't have that many other things. I was watching Star Trek Picard. It's fun. It's not like the best thing in the world, but it's definitely a fun show. Um, New season of Survivor's pretty good. Uh, and Halo's around new Halo show, which is I think doing a better job than the game ever did at telling me what the fuck is going on. So uh, it's good, but not. It's nowhere near Severance level. So I don't even know why I'm talking. Just go watch Severance.
What's funny is like I have a friend who said he made it through half of the first episode and had to turn it off.
Yeah, I definitely know people that love fucking Halo, and I could see them hating that show. Like it just like doesn't give a fuck of what what Halo games said. They're just like it's like stuff might be a thing we'll pull from or not. Like it doesn't really matter. Um, but I've only watched two of those episodes too, so who knows? Maybe it'll be garbage by the end of the season. Come back to me. We'll talk about it when it's over. Just go watch Severance, and we'll all be happy. Anyway, that's it for us this week. You can find us on Twitter at Who Put This On. You can find us on Facebook.com/Who Put This On. You can find us on TikTok at Who Put This On Podcast. And you can email suggestions and questions at whoputthison@gmail.com. Especially since I don't know what we're watching next week. We didn't pick it out. So fucking tell us what you want us to watch. Okay? We'll just watch it. All right. Well, we'll see you next time. To outro or no outro?